Hey, what's up, guys? This is Mage,
And this is Cechi also.
and today we are going to be bringing you a game from the Random Heroes 2v2 tournament. This is actually game 2 of a second round match, and go ahead and unpause Soso, between Xelsing and Hawk, and Cechi and Prado. Game 1 was actually Xelsing and HLA against Cechi and Prado, but unfortunately HLA was DDoS during the middle of the game and disconnected. He was not able to join for the second game, so Hawk was an available sub and took his spot, so we now have Hawk and Xelsing against Cechi and Prado, but Cechi and Prado won game 1 with beautiful play by Cechi. And this is a do-or-die situation for Hawk and Xelsing to see if they can force a game 3 to move on. So today's I've got Soso with me, who actually has played quite a bit of 2v2 Random Heroes as opposed to Peerby and I, who just kind of looked at it and made the best out of what we could have done, but maybe we'll actually get some strategy given into it. So Soso, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's different between Random Hero and normal 2v2 that you have to take into account for, besides the obvious of just not having heroes that you can pick?
Well, first of all, there's different advantages or disadvantages about random heroes for each race that you kind of have to practice to get accustomed to. It brings a new kind of game mode to the usual 2-on-2 games, so it's really interesting how good players can manage that, and also because of if you play human, for example, the creeping is not as easy without water elements, or if you're an idol, if you can't defend as well against tower rushes and that sort of stuff, because you don't have a demon hunter. So there's there's some luck involved in the heroes, but you can also make up for it by playing really good teamwork. Yeah.
And look at this.
Sometimes.
So Hawk and Xelsing have both spawned a Firelord as their first hero, and Human is certainly a great race to pull off some type of rush and tower up. Xelsing has gone for a typical grunt build to start off with, so I wonder if he's going to try and move over to some type of headhunters, maybe on the go for a tier 1 all-in push. This should be noted, this is actually the current replay of the week on W3 Arena, and for those of you not familiar with this tournament, it was put on by Play Free For All last Saturday, and it had great results. It had a lot of attention to it, and people had a lot of fun. So we can see here that Prado is going for the early harassment on Xelsing, trying to take down one of these burrows, but not going to be able to do that, and instead might be a little bit of free experience for Xelsing, but Prado instead goes ahead and summons his wolves, prevents the experience from coming in there. Cechi, on the other hand, is going for an Alchemist attack here, and Alchemist a pretty good hero overall, I think, especially if they do decide to try and pull a early tier 1 rush. Acid Bomb does quite a bit of damage, and the weakness cannot be understated. Does not look like we have... Prado is teching, as is Xelsing at the moment. Meanwhile, both Hawk and Cechi are playing a little bit more conservatively and have a slower tier 1 tech, which has not yet gone up.
Yeah. And it looks like Prado and Cechi was the team with the most luck to start with.
Yep.
But maybe Hawk and let me see, Xelsing can pull it off by rushing. I imagine they will pull a tier 2 rush on one of the players just because of the summon advantage. That's really great for rushing. But we'll see how the game turns out.
And a nice play here by Hawk using the creeps to get the Huntress ensnared. It did go down there, although Hawk is in the process of losing several of these peasants that he was using to creep it to the Alchemist. And while it was Hawk that managed to grab the ward there, it is Cechi who's doing quite a bit of damage at the moment while harassing, although losing that Huntress can't make him terribly happy. We do have Hawk up to level 3 on the Firelord already, and let's see. Yep, so Cechi did manage to get that kill on the Footman. He is just 1 kill away from getting to level 2 on his Alchemist. On the other side of the map, we do have Xelsing is level 1, while Prado is level 1 as well, so the only one really getting a whole lot of experience at the moment is Hawk.
Yeah, and it was definitely worth it to take the shop. He still has enough wood peasants for tier 2 buildings, and he did manage to get the site as well, which is really important for this map. So well done by him, I think.
Yep, and as we can see, the early game is just a lot of harassing currently. I mean, it's been pretty much non-stop throughout the game. So somebody that plays a lot of 2v2 random heroes, is this typical for most 2v2 random hero games, or is this more of the players' playstyles, do you think?
Well, I think it is actually shaped out nicely like 2-on-2 random heroes is, because when you start off with, for example, a Huntress build, you can't really creep with one random hero like an Alchemist. So it's better to just harass. And in Prado's case, he chose to harass, but he could equally creep with the nice hero, I think, of getting a Farseer.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he just wanted to harass because Cechi was doing the same thing.
Yeah, probably so. And we actually noticed that Cechi has not upgraded his Tree of Life at all, so it looks like he may be staying tier 1 throughout the game and possibly going hunts and then feeding Prado. Prado does have his second hero coming out as we speak, as does Xelsing, and Hawk has just hit tier 2 as well. So that could be something that's important later on in the game. I mean, it does look like Prado and Cechi are trying to get a quicker game out of this one, get their 2-0 score, and finish this off before too much damage can be done. We do know how ferocious Hawk is in the late game. I mean, just a prodigious solo player, and probably the best in Russia and Europe at the moment. So maybe they do have a right to try and get this over with as quickly as possible, though Cechi is a great solo player as well. So based off of the builds that you've seen so far, what would you expect later on, and what type of strategy do you think is going to come about from this?
Well, normally with the strategy that Cechi and Prado are going for, you would either rush the other team when they get to tier 2, or you would try to go to 50 hunts and build an expansion up from there and feed. This is a kind of a new build, I think. From standard 2v2, you don't really do that with an orc as an ally, because you'll just have a bunch of melee units, which is not the best composition you can have in 2-on-2. So I'm kind of puzzled about what they're doing here. It would seem like Hawk and Xelsing are getting stronger as the game goes. So
yeah.
So the time clicker is definitely not in favor of Prado and Cechi.
So we can see here that Xelsing has managed to grab a Mountain King as his second hero, while Hawk has a Farseer as his second hero. Really in a huge stroke of luck, Prado manages to grab the Tauren Chieftain as his second hero, which has to be the best hero pop that we've had so far. Although Mountain King's certainly nothing to sneeze at, and if they did try to go for a tower rush, then the Farseer could come into play for Hawk as well, but we can see the Alchemist is getting very low right now. It's going to go ahead and have a speed scroll used to try and get out of here for Cechi, and it looks like Xelsing is going to be forced to TP back into his own base due to that surround right now, and the burrow continuing to do a lot of damage. We can see here Prado is very much hamstrung by the fact they lost 2 burrows to Hawk earlier on. He is just now getting out of his food debt and will be able to produce some more units. But we can see the Huntresses really don't appear that effective right now. They did a great job of doing a lot of damage to the Grunts earlier on, but they're just getting torn through at the moment. And Prado can see his Tauren Chieftain getting very low right now. It does look like it is going to go down. So really at the moment, I'm thinking not looking too great for Cechi and Prado. We can see at the food count,
not at all.
Hawk is at 42 of 48, Xelsing at 39 of 40, Prado 40 of 50, and Cechi at 43 of 40. So actually a small food advantage going to our light blue team, but in terms of overall quality units and heroes, you definitely think it's going towards Hawk and Xelsing at the moment.
Yeah, they just didn't get anything from the harassment, not the thing they wanted. Hawk and Xelsing didn't do any big mistakes, so now they're on the back foot, and they have to kind of make up for this by somehow getting some worker kills or getting back into the game somehow.
Yep, and Cechi is just now going to hit tier 2, so it looks like he has thought about it and decided that, no, you're not going to be able to make a Hunt's army work against this unit composition for the Orc and human players. Hawk actually losing a footman there to the creeps, which is kind of surprising. And I don't know, it's interesting. We do not have anybody going for tier 3 yet, at least.
The footmen are essentially kind of useless at this point. You want to max out on 50 on casters. So that's why he just chooses not to micro at this point.
Even in 2v2 random here, you think that they're going to bank at 50 as opposed to just going up as quickly as possible?
Yeah, it's definitely a good choice to bank a little bit, and then you can go to, for example, 60 food right away instead of being like 40 or 53 food for a long time.
Makes sense. I just wasn't sure how much of a role that played. And we can see the large armies of Prado and Cechi coming to Xelsing's base. I do not believe that either... Hawk does have a TP at the moment, and Xelsing is going to buy one, it looks like, on the Mountain King. Yep, so we can have both players TP in here. Nice job by Cechi bringing in the Wisp. We've seen just so many summon units so far, and absolutely need to have some Wisp nearby to dispel that until you get some more breakers and Dryads.
Xelsing doesn't have a TP right now.
He does on the Mountain King, I believe.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yep, he just bought one, just to make sure. But they are going to take this battle outside of the base.
Yeah.
And all the Huntresses here actually coming in and may be able to do some damage to the heroes if they get in a good position. Scroll of Protection does go off for our green team right now. And at the moment, it looks like Cechi and Prado actually doing a decent job of keeping them on the back foot. But we can see how badly slow is affecting Huntresses at the moment. Does not look like any heroes are in imminent danger of dying at the moment. Both players focusing down on units. Lots of Helsing's grunts going down, and the Huntress is getting very low as well. Hawk doing a nice job of trying to micro his casters out of range, since those are the most important units right now. I mean,
it's really impressive how he's managing to keep his units alive at this point.
And the Spellbreakers coming out here and doing a lot of damage. Does look like Xelsing and Hawk going to be able to relatively easily drive both of the players back right now. Prado does not have a TP at the moment, so if he needs one, he will not be able to get out. And actually, Cechi does not have a TP either, so both light blue players are very much dependent on being able to run away.
Yeah. So far, I think that it's more the army composition, more so than the heroes, that has decided the fight so far.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at heroes, you'd have to give the advantage to Cechi and Prado. While there are some advantages to having 2 Fire Lords and a Farseer, the advantages are not that high up on the priorities list. But they have done a nice job of keeping the heroes at a higher level than their opponents, and using their army compositions to really maximize and dominate the damage they can do in the battles. Cechi now switching over to Dryads, a smart move on his part. We'll see how long it takes for those to become a major influence in the game.
Yeah, I think he stayed too long on Huntresses, to be honest. I think he would have... It would have been better if he had tagged earlier, but let's see in the next fight.
And we do have another quick engagement here. It is just Hawk's units for the most part. I mean, there are a few grunts thrown in here and a couple of Spirit Walkers, but Xelsing is very, very low on his tech right now, or his units. We'll check in his base right now and see what his gold is after the fight, but Xelsing about to lose one of his Kodo Beasts, which will go down momentarily to the hunt. Acid Bomb is cast on it. You can see Cechi is making a priority to kill that. Does go down there. Farseer getting a little bit low for Hawk right now. Has to be careful that he's not going to lose that, as is the Mountain King of Xelsing right now. That does have a TP if it needs it. We can see that Prado is doing a nice job of holding up the team right now with his units. The Huntresses getting nice damage buffs from the Kodo Beast that he has, as well as Spirit Link, making them stay alive a little bit longer than they ordinarily would. And Cechi and Prado actually doing a nice job of possibly taking this fight. Xelsing is going to lose another Kodo Beast to the Huntresses, it looks like, although it does just get back in time. Spellbreakers are getting very low. Kodo Beast goes down there for Prado. And this is really a very back-and-forth fight right now. The Farseer for Hawk is getting very, very low, as is Helsing's Firelord. And the Farseer for Prado goes down there. Big hit for him. Torn Chieftain is still alive, but that's going to go down as well. And just like that, this fight is turning around very quickly in Xelsing and Hawk's favor. But Cechi doing a very nice job of somehow keeping all these Huntresses alive. Xelsing's Firelord has to go ahead and pop its Potion of Invulnerability to get back there, and Cechi looks like he's going to buy a Potion of Invulnerability. Does not go for the TP. Going to take down one last Spellbreaker of Hawk. And Prado losing his peons as well, so ordinarily you'd think the Orc would be the one doing most of the damage in this fight when there are so many hunts, but Cechi being the one to really continue doing damage despite his lackluster army build right now. And it looks like Hawk and Xelsing are going to continue to push this fight while Cechi is going to try and take it right back at them. So 1v2 right now. We'll see how well this goes for them. And there we go. Xelsing is the one to go ahead and call back. Cechi is going to take advantage of that and try to push down, at least get some of these summons taken out of the way. Hawk looks like he does not really want to go ahead and back off right now, but he has to be careful of this Farseer. There is a TP on his Fire Lord that he could pass over if need be. Meanwhile, Xelsing has no TP and a healing up Mountain King, but when the Mountain King comes back, it looks like they will be able to force Cechi to back up.
Yeah, and they don't really have any units to counter the Dryads at the moment. That's why they're so effective. And I also think that Prado made a big blunder there, losing both heroes, kind of unexpected, I guess, from him that the Spellbreakers would do that much damage, but Cechi did nice in that fight and actually is on a high population in spite of losing that fight.
Yeah, he is definitely performing very well so far, but it does look like our green team is going to go ahead and try to push this into Cechi's base. Cechi probably realizes right now that Prado needs some time to rebuild. I mean, he is still working on getting that Tauren Chieftain back out, still producing grunts, and I'm somewhat surprised that we have not seen a workshop up. We do have a blacksmith going up. I presume a workshop will follow because it seems like mortars would be a really nice tie-in to Hawk's army at the moment.
Yeah, also a couple of raiders wouldn't be that bad, but I think he chooses not to go for raiders because of the hunts. Yeah, mortar's definitely a good choice here.
Yep, and Prado looks like he may be going to try and do some harassment damage on Xelsing's base right now. He has to be careful because he still has no TP, and if he loses his entire army, then that could very easily be good game just in the blink of an eye. So Cechi doing a nice job really kind of distracting both armies. We'll see if Prado can actually do any damage while he goes into Xelsing's base. Xelsing does have this burrow that's in pretty bad position. Voodoo Lounge at the very edge there, and looks like at the moment at least there's not going to be a TP. We do see Xelsing going over there buying his TP, so both players do have one, and Xelsing will go ahead, TP in. We'll see what this produces afterwards because we do not see Hawk fighting, and Cechi versus Hawk in 1v1 right now could be a very interesting fight. On the other side of the map, Prado is being forced to retreat.
Yeah, it makes sense for Xelsing to TP there. He wouldn't be able to fight 1v1 versus Cechi at this point, and he's in much better shape to fight Prado. So Prado is forced to back up now, and so is Cechi. And they're kind of in the same position as they were before now. Maybe Prado will do some more harassment to force Xelsing to TP again.
Yep. Wouldn't surprise me at all, and that is a valid strategy. I mean, if you can manage to make Xelsing waste all that gold on it, then
yeah, they're buying time to get ready to fight.
Yeah,
let's
do. Hawk has 60 food and 60 upkeep supply block, 50 of 60 for Xelsing. Prado at 48 of 50, so he has gotten his Farseer back finally, and Cechi is at 50 of 50, currently building Moonwells, but he's got enough gold to go up to probably 65 food once that Moonwell is completed, another one gets put up. So he's in pretty good shape right now. And what do you think of Cechi's decision to go for a solo hero here? He does have the Alchemist, which once you get level 6 is pretty great, but he could also really benefit from getting some other hero that had an aura or something that would mesh well with his army. So, do you approve that decision, or you think it's not quite as wise?
Well, it's tough to say. You don't really know what second hero you'll get, and the Alchemist is just really, really great in when he gets to level 6. But at this point, it's more about them not winning the earlier fights. In this case, they're kind of even if the Alchemist gets level 6, they just have not that great army. So I think the game should be over for them soon if they don't somehow get back into it with a good move or something like that.
Yeah, we can see this Ancient of Lore is going to go down very quickly right now. So one Ancient of Lore left to produce. Here comes Prado, but Cechi is the one that is kind of trapped on the outside here. His Alchemist getting very low. Doesn't seem like it's very good positioning for him. Prado has to move over a little bit to try and protect Cechi's DPS more. You can see the Dryads are going down pretty quickly to Xelsing's army, which is not the way you want to have this set up. The Kodo Beast does go down, so that'll help a little bit if they can take the other one down as well.
It's really bad placement on the Kodos. They
Torn
really
Chieftain
needed
has
them.
4. Farseer is not far from 4. We've got 5, almost 5 on the other Fire Lord. Mountain King is 4 as well. Farseer for Prado hits 5. The Fire Lord for Xelsing hits 5. And just look at all these summons in the base right now. Cechi doing the best he can to dispel them, but as we can see, he has pretty much no mana on any of his Dryads. Needs some more, but had one of his Ancient of Lords taken down. So the fact that Prado took so long to TP in really hurting Cechi and his base probably.
Yeah. Also, I noticed that Hawk and Xelsing, they won each fight with Spirit Link. I think was the major factor why they could keep so many units alive despite all the damage. It's really nice work by them.
Cechi could come in and gank Hawk right now. There's a lot of really low units right there, and you can see that Prado had that idea, but didn't quite manage to get the Shockwave off to hit them. We do have level 6 on the Alchemist. Needs a little bit more mana to come in here and actually manage to use Transmute. Let's see if he's got it. It looks like Prado, for the most part, has been hiding it, but this could go very badly for Hawk and Xelsing very quickly if they're not careful. And there we go. Kodo Beast does go down there. One of the Dryads does as well. For the team that's winning significantly, though, right now, I could easily see this turning very badly for them very quickly if they're not careful.
Yeah, they need a healing scroll, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't go back and buy that.
Acid Bomb continuing to do decent amount of damage there. Spellbreaker does go down, and we have Torn Chieftain level 5, so that's a great hero to have with any army. That should do a lot of damage.
Priests are out of position, 3 dying. Yeah.
And just a little bit more mana needed for the Alchemist before it can start abusing Transmute, but you gotta bet that Cechi really wants to do that pretty soon. Let's take a quick glance at the gold and food. We got 500, 430 for Cechi, Prado at 190, 728, Xelsing at 300, 160, and 36, and we've got Hawk at 300, 150. No expansions up so far. Hawk's gold is out, Xelsing's gold is out, Prado has 90 gold left, and Cechi is out of gold. So if somebody does not get an expansion up quickly, then this is very quickly going to turn into a hero arena, and just who can manage to win that. And if it comes down to a hero arena, then your guess is as good to mine as to how that'll turn out.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see that too. You're kind of sound though, but I hope it's not.
Sorry, what'd you say? I'm having issues hearing you at the moment.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I said you're kind of breaking out on the sound.
Huh. I'm not sure if that's my end or your end. We'll see if that gets a little bit better.
It's good now, though. It's good now.
It's good now? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is really close, I think, still.
Yep.
No more gold anymore for anyone, and Hawk managed to survive to get that fire out of the fire. That was really nice.
Yeah, just barely. And we can see that they're getting split up into 2 separate 1v1s again. Prado trying to get his heroes over here since they do complement Cechi's army very nicely. We do have silence on, a form of silence on the Alchemist right now, so it is not going to be able to use Transmute, although it does just go off there. But the Alchemist is getting very low at the moment, and Prado and Cechi have to be very careful that they're not going to lose what remaining army that they do have. You can see it's very tempted to try and pick off certain units here for that Hawk has out there, but this is a bad fight for Cechi and Prado. They have to be very careful. And level 5 on that Mountain King. The Torn Chieftain right now is ensnared, and the bolt goes off there. Let's see if the Torn Chieftain is going to go down. Prado has to be very careful here, and Cechi is going to move.
No invulnerability.
Yep. Keeping that Mountain King back as much as
that managed to escape. That was just really nice.
Yep.
For Prado and Cechi.
That would have been a game ender there, I think, if he lost the Torn Chieftain, since he does. Well, he might have the gold to revive it when he sold off a couple items, but just barely, if so. But right now, it certainly looks like the advantage goes to Hawk and Xelsing. Hawk does have level 6 on his Fire Lord. I'm not entirely sure what scenario would cause him to need to use it, but maybe if they get into a base race.
Yeah, and as you can see, the Mountain King as a second hero wasn't that effective to start with, but now it's really effective in the hero arena scenario. Mountain King is of course not as good without an Archmage to give it aura for mana, but the bolt is just really good on level 3 at this point.
Yep, absolutely. And Cechi really coming in here, trying to do any damage that he can to any unit, and wow, nice job getting that single Dryad escape there. going to go ahead and staff it back. At this point, it really does come down to just taking out single units. I mean, any advantage is an advantage that you need to have at this point. Does look like Hawk and Xelsing are going to try and advance this and take out somebody. We can see that Cechi is in the middle trying to give it a
they have to attack now.
Yep. If he gets set up, that'll be a huge help to him. And yeah, we haven't really seen a whole lot of transmute abuse going on right now, but you're right, that will come into play later on, and any unit that goes down to it obviously is a huge advantage for our light blue team. And Cechi really just trying to do as much as he can to stave off the attack. We can see the wisps are incoming, and he mentioned he got a couple into the mine at least, but it looks like that will be it. Can't really afford to try and repair since he needs that gold for as much as possible, but he also looks like he really can't afford to try and combat it right now. Let's see how much gold Prado has left. Prado is at 130 gold, Cechi is at 360, but he is about to lose his main as well as his expansion since they are one and the same.
Yeah. Again, Hawk and Xelsing are taking really good fights. Yeah, winning the fights, but despite having two Fire Lords at the start of the game.
Yep, and you can see that the creeping advantage is coming into play a little bit just because both of our light green players here do have hero advantages, and looks like they're going to try and go for a surround on the Alchemist. Cechi's Alchemist does pop a potion of invulnerability, but it is surrounded and doing the best to try and take anything out.
Nice surround there.
Really nice job getting out of the surround by Cechi as well, though. And does look like a couple of units went down there, so the sacrifice of trying to surround the Alchemist. Alchemist is a very quick hero with the boots of speed on it right now, and there we go. Does go ahead, take out one of the Spellbreakers with Transmute, so another unit does go down for Hawk. Nothing you can do about that, which is the most frustrating feeling in the world. Does look like no longer long-distance mining for Xelsing. That's what that ping was about, and a grunt goes down there for Xelsing. And we have that Fire Lord getting very low. I don't think it's going to be very long before Cechi decides to try and take it down, but he also has to be very careful that the Mountain King doesn't get a bolt off on the Alchemist with how low it is at the moment. And there we go. Mountain King actually chasing a little bit. This could be dangerous. Although the Fire Lord is just barely getting away, but it does go down there. The Alchemist goes down. That's
Alchemist goes
GG,
down.
I think. Unless there's some miracle.
It's a slight
right
mistake by Cechi there. Yeah.
Yep, but he does not have the gold to revive it right now. Prado has 190. If they sell off some items from the Torn Sheep... Nope, they're still not going to have enough. I do not know if he researched pillage, but that is a possibility, I suppose.
They're not going to get back in this game unless they get that Alchemist back. But on the other hand, the Town Chieftain is almost 6, but is it going to matter? I don't think so.
Yeah, if the Alchemist was still alive, then I certainly think that would play a huge role. But with the Alchemist not being alive, then it does not seem like it's going to be possible for Cechi. I'm looking around trying to figure out if there's anything else they can do to sell units. There we go. Torn Chieftain does hit 6 there. Farseer is level 6 as well, and Prado goes ahead and buys a mana regen potion. So it looks like they are not going to be pulling
the only chance they have right now is to snipe the Mountain King somehow and the Priest.
Which actually looking like it's not out of the realm of possibility. Since Mountain King...
There's no aura for mana here, regeneration, so the Priest should be easier to snipe in random heroes in this case.
And the Fire Lord for Xelsing is pretty low as well, so it would not be out of the realm of possibility to consider one of those going down. They do have to be very careful right now. Prado doing everything he can to try and get one of these heroes down, defend the base. Ancient Protector coming in, doing a little bit of damage, as well as our Cechi's Dryads. One of them does go down there, so he is down to 3 remaining units right now. And the Torn Chieftain getting low, but of course it does have Reincarnation, so that will not be a huge problem.
If they kill that right now, it will get full mana, and that's something they want.
So Prado actually trying to bait them into killing it. He's in good position with the Torn Chieftain, so he can chase after them and try to do as much damage as possible. They really now are focused on trying to take down some of those Dryads. And there we go, the Feral Spirits are doing a lot of damage to that Fire Lord. Does have the potion of invulnerability.
Yeah, they want to kill those Dryads right now. if they stay alive, they're gonna lose more and more units.
Yep, and there goes one of the Dryads, there goes the second Dryad as well. So now this is all on Prado's shoulders here. We'll see if he can pull off one of the most epic comebacks that I would have ever seen. We can see a low Rifleman there. We've got the low Mountain King as well, and it won't be too long before Tauren Chieftain has enough mana for Shockwave as well. And somehow they've actually been put on the defensive right now. So despite only having 2 heroes, Prado's heroes are coming through in a clutch moment. And there we go. So they are going to go for the Tauren Chieftain kill. And let's see if there's enough mana to bolt it. Not quite yet. Another Rifleman does go down there to Prado. And here we go. Full health, full mana, and not have one of the low heroes in range to try and take it out yet. The last Dryad is running around trying not to die. And here we go. So, so that will be the Fire Lord going down, and the Mountain King looks like it may go down as well. Mountain King hits level 6, the Farseer goes down instead, and bad trade-off to give the Mountain King level 6 there. You really gave that Farseer.
Mistake by Prado in his micromanagement. Yeah.
Yep, and now
it's not good.
Tauren Chieftain is out of mana as well, so despite having both of these heroes so close to going down, he is not going to be able to take them down. He does have enough to go ahead and buy another regeneration, and he will start long-distance mining finally as well. Xelsing and Hawk have both been doing it the entire time, pretty much. Or at least Hawk has. Xelsing has started doing it recently.
This game is so close. If he had just kept that Farseer out of the loop, then he could have sniped the heroes with wolves.
Especially because we do have Night coming down, and Cechi does still have his Moonwells up, so that means that he could have healed it up.
Exactly. Yeah. So at this point, they're just trying to get health points back up and on their heroes, and coming back for a snipe, I guess. They don't want any of the teams to mine at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And Cechi doing a nice job of taking down
to use the wolves for killing the peons at this point.
Yep. And here we go. Do you see that at least one of the peasants will, nope, not quite go down. He does have to pull that Dryad back so he does not lose it, since any unit counts right now, as we've been saying all game. And Prado is not super far away from managing to get his Farseer back. I mean, it'll take a while, but if he can somehow defend his mining peons, then that's in the realm of possibility. But still, 3 heroes versus 1 right now.
Yeah, and the Mountain King will single-handedly take on the Tauren Chieftain.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to see them somehow pull off this comeback. I think it would be really, really ridiculous, but I am a little bit skeptical that they'll manage to pull it off just based off the way things are now, unless a lot of the peons manage to mine gold, but it does look like Hawk is going to kill some off, as is Xelsing, and without those peons, I think there's absolutely no chance.
Yeah, that's true. I'm speculating about what would have happened if Prado had went for a Stump instead of Shockwave. Yeah. I think that would have been more effective in this case.
I think so too, but there you go. Prado does call GG, and that will be Game 2 going to Hawk and Xelsing. So that ties the series up at 1-1. So, thank you so much for casting this with me. If you're watching on YouTube, we will have the next commentary up momentarily. And if you're watching on Twitch, we'll be bringing it to you in just a second.